All right, getting back on this budget project. So I did get a shipment of parts. I'll show you here. I'm gonna be swapping these springs on these max heating rods, I think they are. Yeah, max heating rods. So these are just the cheapest coilovers I could find. Once again, trying to keep this as budget friendly as possible. And at the ride height it's at, I'm not too concerned about you know, the quality of suspension. I just want it to not rub, pretty much. So what I went with was the 12K fronts from BC. So these are 180 mil. As you can see, matches up. So that's just the generic E36 sizing for most coilovers. So even if you don't have these cheap eBay ones, 180 is usually fine for, like I said, most applications. Even my BCs are 180 in my other car. And then for the rear, because of I'm going to be riding a little bit of a wider tire than I would like to on a stock motor, I'm running 18K rears, and they are going to be 18s and have a pretty aggressive fitment, so don't want that rubbing through the over fenders or anything, or having too much squat, because I want less grip, not more grip for this car. So yeah, 18 in the rear, 12 in the front. My old car was 12-16, and I ran a super aggressive rear fitment especially, so 18s should be fine. It should have a little bit less grip. So yeah, ideally for the rear I would like to run like a 14 and then like a stiffer sway bar, but sway bars are not cheap and that kind of defeats the whole purpose. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and pop these off and throw the stiffer springs in, and then these are just gonna sit in the back, so I'm not too worried about anything back there. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take these apart. So usually you would have to crack these open, but because they already came loose, I don't need any tools. I'm just gonna go ahead and slide these off. Spring in. For the preload, I usually set it to where the spring doesn't spin too freely, or it doesn't move up and down either. A little more. Alright, there it is. So you can see it's not moving. It's not spinning that freely. Go ahead and throw these rings back on. I'm gonna swap the second one over and then probably just hang these in the car without the rest of the suspension, and then pull the old shocks out. Everything's covered in oil. I don't know why. Gonna make a quick detour and take the Pajero to go grab the wheels for the car. Maybe I'll test fit them. I know they won't fit because of how big and wide they are, 18 by 9.5. See what they look like and get back on those knuckles. Got the fresh green lights. Not the best looking wheel, but it'll do. Back at the shop, gonna unload these things, put them to the side for now. Maybe I'll try to test fit one in the back, see how far off I am from the factory fenders. But yeah, these tires definitely gotta go. So as you can see, I mean, it's not too far off, but that's still like an inch or two. So hopefully my over fenders come in time for the drift event, because there's no way that I am running it like this. Well, the wheels don't look too bad though, I will say, on the black. I'm expecting it to look a little worse, but yeah, over fenders for sure. Those front coilovers are in. Not gonna do the rear for now because I have to do some things back there later. Time to start making a jig for these. Oh wow. Never had it come out like that. Well, this one looks new actually, so. Oh wow. This looks pretty good condition. I did get new ones, but that one looks pretty good. Oh wow. Yeah, maybe I can actually. Yeah, you know what, I'll keep this one as a spare in case I ever really need it as an emergency. Alright, so I'm gonna try to make a jig here. Now essentially what the plan is, most people make a cut here and here and then just bring it in 20-30 mil. But what I want to do is play with the Ackerman. So to get this in line, I'm gonna make a single cut here and then shift it over and weld it onto this section here so it's in line. So I'm gonna have to make a jig to where this holds in, and then once this is cut, I'm gonna move it over to here and then have that bolted in. And then once it's perfectly aligned and tight down, I'm gonna go ahead and start welding. It'll make more sense once it's actually cut and in place, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and start making this jig on this little L bracket and get some bolts or studs or whatever I can find. So here it is, welded on, as you can see, all the way around. Now I am gonna let this cool down for a second, and then I'm gonna come back and weld some supports here, and then one across here, and then probably one underneath. That way I know for sure it's not gonna fall off. But yeah, so far it looks good. As you can see by the jig, it's in line. I measured it, the Ackerman, it's the same on both sides, so it's gonna be 0. Yeah, so once this cools down, I'm gonna come back and reinforce it a little more. So my camera is really low on storage, so I'm gonna have to make this quick. Instead of doing the 2-inch, I'm actually doing an 1.25 inches, because I feel like 2 inches possibly too long. So I've gone ahead and cut a piece, and I've beveled all the edges for more penetration. I'm just gonna go ahead and get this straight and start welding. Got it tacked in place. Gonna go ahead and just finish welding all the way around, and then I'll show the final product here. All right, here it is, still smoking. Went all the way around. Looks like good penetration, but I think I'm gonna do maybe one more pass or grind it flush, and then put a plate from like here to here on top, and then probably I'll do the same on the bottom. But it looks good right now. I cranked it pretty high. Seems okay. Gonna throw this and the knuckles in the car quickly, and I want to see just how much angle it has, or if it needs a little bit more length here, because I just like I said, people usually do 2-inch or 50 mil, and I did an 1.25 inches. Here is the angle with no tie rod, of course, because I pulled this thing out and it's absolutely seized. So can't adjust it, gotta get longer inners anyways. So I can't really see how much angle it has, unfortunately, but I can see the camber gain actually from just the control. I guess it's hard to see on the camera, but just from the control arms alone, did gain a decent amount of camber. I have not adjusted the top hats, they're still at 0. Yeah, so hopefully next time I'll get the tie rods in there. I really wanted to see how much angle it would have, but since this is a Canadian car, obviously these things just get seized and they never come apart. So I'll leave that for next week. And I did actually get a shipping notification for the overs, so those are expected to come in this week, so I should be able to get the rest of the car done next weekend. I'm probably gonna end up painting the car after 1 or 2 events. I just want to see if it works first before I go ahead and make it look good and do all the body work. So yeah, next video, put those tie rods in, grab my spare 3.9 probably and weld that, throw that in as well. I guess that's it. I didn't get to see the angle, but it did come out pretty nice, the knuckles and control arm, so I am happy about that. I guess we'll see next week how much steering angle it actually has, and probably go for a drive. So subscribe if you want to see that. And that's it for this one.